and welcome to JoyNews Today. I am Emefa Akosia Adati. We are live from our studios here in Kokomlimle, Accra, also on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Coming up this afternoon, President John Dramani Mahama visits Bawku and Nalerigu today as part of efforts to end chieftaincy disputes there. Ghana National Fire Service describes as feasible a directive by President Mahama to deploy fire personnel to Ghana's major markets at night. And also this afternoon, Ejira Traditional Authority condemns police station attack, calls for swift arrest of suspects. We have these business, sports and showbiz. Do stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Now, first this afternoon, the Ghana National Fire Service has described as feasible a directive by President Dramani Mahama to deploy fire personnel to Ghana's major markets at night. The service has welcomed the idea, saying it will help deal with the situation. We'll hear from the Ghana National Fire Service in a bit, but first, here is President John Dramani Mahama directing that security be tightened at major markets to address the recent spate of market fires in the country. He spoke after traders from the Continental market paid a courtesy call on him.
And so the first one is we held a meeting with the security heads today to see how we can tighten security around all the major markets in order to prevent any such occurrence. Just this morning we heard about Techiman market to a fire in Techiman market. So it looks like it's something that is going to continue, and so we need to take quick steps. And so I've asked the security to arrange with the various security services to tighten security around major markets. In addition to that, we are asking the National Fire Service in the nights, because these fires take place in the night, and that's what gives us room for suspicion that there are people who are deliberately doing this. In the daytime, you don't hear that there's a fire anywhere. How the fire can decide that it's only in the night that it ignites and burns, I mean, it's beyond anybody's imagination.
We can now hear from ADO1 Alex Kingnate, who is a member of the Ghana National Fire Service Public Relations Team.
Fact that we are hoping that moving forward, this will not even just be a measure just for the market fires, but as I had said yesterday, that moving forward long term, it should even be established that we should get permanent fire tenders at these major markets moving forward forever, so that at least we know that this will be a long-term way to be able to nip the issue of market fires in the bud.
You're talking of major markets.
Exactly.
Major markets. Major markets.
So per our directive, looking at our logistical constraints, the directive will be to major markets. You know, major markets that house a lot different items that, you know, the items in these markets cut across. So for now, we are committing fire tenders and personnel to all these major markets, even for the minor markets, for where we are challenged in terms of logistics or fire tenders, would even commit personnel there, so that this personnel will carry out inspection and then also have a good communication with the nearest fire station with a tender, so that if they should identify any fire, they can easily call for reinforcement to be able to deal with it.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has met heads of all state security agencies this morning before a visit to Bawku to mediate tensions in the area. The discussions focused on creating a conducive environment for dialogue as President Mahama prepares to lead efforts to address the root causes of the conflict during his visit in the area. But before his trip to Bawku, President John Mahama, in a meeting with the National House of Chiefs, revealed that chieftaincy disputes were a major concern in all the security briefings he had received since he was elected.
Of the service chiefs and the intelligence agencies. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, first of all, let me thank you very much on behalf of the heads of the security services and agencies for receiving us this morning. Mr. President, we are here to join our voices with the good people of Ghana and the international community to congratulate you on assumption of office. We help you to achieve or realize your objective of resetting Ghana. Mr. President, once again, thank you very much for receiving us this morning. We are grateful. And we wish you the best. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me thank all of you for the work that you've done for our motherland in terms of keeping our people safe and protecting both internal and external security. We should have held this ceremony on the 7th, immediately after the inauguration, but as you know, we're overwhelmed by visitors, and some of those who came on the 7th left just a few days ago. They enjoyed Ghana so much that they were not in a hurry to leave. But I want to thank you for the good work. This last election has cemented our reputation as the leading democracy in Africa, and a good part of the thanks go to you, the security services, who have maintain the peace. We still have threats to our peace that we must continue to look at internally and externally. Internally, to do with chieftaincy disputes and some incidents of armed robbery and things like that. Externally, to do with the threats on our northern borders. And so we cannot let our vigilance down. There should be no vacuum, and so you must all continue to work, as the CDS said, zealously to make sure that there's no breach of the peace in the country. And so I want to thank you for all the work you're doing. We're working hard to set up the Council of State so that we can start to put the controlling boards of all the services and all the government parastatals in place.
Well, this afternoon, President Mahama hopes to bring lasting peace to troubled Bawku. And from there, the president will visit the chiefs and people of Nalerigu. Elias Tanko joins us with the mood ahead of the president's visit. Elias, thank you for joining us. And so what's the mood like in Nalerigu this afternoon?
Well, I see the police, especially putting up barricades on the main streets of Nalerigu, especially the streets that is leading to the palace of the overlord and the king of Mampurugu. They are doing that in preparation for the arrival of the president. As I understand from the party executives, the NDC party executive party supporters are not allowed to come on the ground, or this particular ground at the chief palace. It is purely a meeting between the president and those who are supposed to be there. And so we are likely not to see the gathering of party supporters at this particular place. So there's already, the preparation is already ongoing, and they are waiting the arrival of the president.
Oh, Elias, that must be heartbreaking for the party supporters, is that not?
Of course, except to say that in relation to this particular incident, we are getting reports of a bus or a truck that has been attacked on the Wale stretch of the Tamale-Bolaga Highway. As we understand, the truck was coming from the Bawku region specifically, and it got attacked on the road near Wale. We have confirmed from police sources, and we have also confirmed from community members that because of these incidents, the soldiers are on rampage, especially in the Wale township, beating up people that they suspect could be behind this particular attack. And so for NDC supporters in Wale who are waiting to see the president, it is not a good news for them because the military is currently on loose in Wale as a result of the violent attack on a truck that was traveling to Tamale.
Did we lose any lives during this attack?
It is not confirmed yet. We don't know the details of who was in this particular truck. We only see videos of this particular truck on the road burning with some people standing around this particular truck. The police are involved, and so we will be speaking to the police to get further details to this particular attack.
Then I take it that there hasn't been any arrests so far at all, I guess.
Not at all. I mean, this is not the first time, I must say, the Tamale-Bolaga stretch of the N10 highway has been very dangerous because of attacks by armed bandits. As we understand, because of the attacks on the Bawku-Bolaga-Purumakum road, there have also been retaliatory attacks on the Bolaga up to the Tamale stretch of that particular busy corridor. And so this is not the first time that trucks have been attacked and then people killed. It's something that has been happening, and I believe that is why the president is going to Bawku in order to bring lasting solution. In fact, they have been traveling advisory revealed, indicating that people that are traveling towards the Upper East region, especially from the Zebila towards the border of Burkina Faso, is a very dangerous area because bandits are on the road and you are likely to be attacked. There have been several attacks over the course of the weeks. And so it's been a very dangerous highway as we speak.
Well, thank you so much, Ilyas Tanko. I would definitely bring you how the president arrives in both Bawku and also Nalerigu a bit later today. You want to stay with us for all of that in our subsequent bulletins. But away from that, an economist with Institute of Energy Security is asking government to properly consult stakeholders in its quest to merge Bui Power and Volta River Authority. Energy Minister designate John Jenapo at his vetting on Monday proposed a merger of VRA and Bui Power Authority into a single entity to be known as Ghana Power Company. Speaking on News Desk earlier today, Derek Hatche said, though the move is necessary, government must tread with caution.
The measure would be a good thing because when you look at the current situation, VRA and the Bui Power all into the hydro and the renewable energy space. One thing that is keeping VRA running is because they have a thermal component. That thermal helps them to generate money, and then when ECG, when they give out the hydropower to ECG, ECG is not able to comply. They are not able to comply with the cash water mechanism to be able to pay them promptly. And so when you take away the thermal component, definitely that will affect them. But when you merge the two, it will give them a strategic direction as to how to be able to bring out that energy transition that we are talking about renewable energy, because there are two experts of both fields coming together will bring out the best possible idea. And in the current situation, what we are talking about, if the government is able to comply with the cash water flow mechanism of any power that is being generated, that will be able to pay them, especially when ECG is more efficient, reducing distribution losses, then it means that what we are talking about, the possible measure, will bring about the needed benefits for Ghana.
Engage Theophilus Tete Ahia, who is National Chairman of VR's Senior Staff Association, and he joins us via Zoom with a conversation on how they are receiving that proposal from the Minister Designate for Energy. Now, Mr. Ahia, please tell me, how have you been receiving really this proposal? If you can hear me, kindly unmute. Well, we'll try and reconnect with the national chairman or the VRA as of yesterday. And even prior to yesterday, there's been some conversations of merging Power and the VRA authority into one company, which came up again at the vetting of the Minister Designate for Energy. And then when we get, well, let's try and bring him back again. Let's talk to Theophilus Tete Ahia, who is national chairman of the VRA, Senior Staff Association. Thank you for joining us today and good afternoon. How have you been receiving this proposal of measure?
Well, thank you very much and good afternoon. In fact, we have heard the minister, and I think that he's not new to these issues. First, let's congratulate him for being nominated as a Minister for Energy. We are very sure that he will go through and he will be appointed as a minister. And I'm sure when he takes seat, he will definitely have an engagement with the key players in the sector and he may understand the issues very well. First, let me say that Bui was initially the baby of VRA. All the research and everything was done by the Volta River Authority. I remember very well that it was during President Kufuor's tenure that an authority was created called Bui Power Authority so that they can solely handle the Bui. What were the reasons? That they could bring some efficiency and competition into the sector and also to be able to expand at a very fast rate because they should be able to go to the money market and borrow based on their strength so that at least they can expand and so and nobody is going on to the renewables. This situation
oh, unfortunately, the network is not kind to me. Just maybe you reposition, and then I'll come back to you again to have that conversation if we can, okay? So we'll move on, but we'll definitely try to reconnect with Mr. Ahia to see if we can pick up on that conversation on why they may be agreeing or opposing to that discussion of merging the Bui Power Authority and also VRA. He's already been giving us a background to that, but I seem to have a better connection now. Let me go back to Mr. Ahia. So you are saying that the purpose for which Bui was set up has done what exactly? Mr. Ahia, I think
yes, because we said that Bui was established also to bring competition.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So, yes. I was saying that initially it was Volta River Authority that was undertaking the Bui project, which I've given that background. But during the President Kufuor's tenure, he created the Bui Power Authority, sort of to also be another purpose vehicle to bring competition to the hydro sector. What it means is that they can also go to the money market to borrow and expand in their area of operations. As we are aware, Bui is not a base load plant, meaning we cannot run all their units 24/7. They may or sometimes run one unit, and then at peak, they bring in the second unit. So they have diversified into the area of renewables, meaning that Bui is gone to the market, borrowed, and they are doing very well. They've been very smart. Mind you, the loan that was contracted to build Bui is still outstanding that they are paying. So they have to be smart and also look at other areas. And they are doing well in the renewables in terms of that of the solar. Currently, they have over 50 megawatts of solar, which they are doing well, which is supporting their operations.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. The network is not very kind. We were hoping to get an emphatic yes or no as to whether they agree to that measure or not. But again, we'll still try and reconnect in a subsequent bulletin to get that answer. But moving away from that measure topic, let's move to the Ejira Traditional Authority. And it has condemned the recent attack on the Ejira District Police Command, calling for the swift arrest and prosecution of suspects. The aggrieved youth on Saturday went on rampage, protesting the demise of a resident who was in police custody. Now, the chiefs are urging stakeholders to cooperate with the police in bringing the suspects to book.
Some youth from Ejura went on rampage on Saturday, burning down the local police station and vandalizing other properties. The attack was reportedly sparked by the death of a suspect in police custody who had been arrested on suspicion of theft. The protesting youth claimed the suspect had been maltreated by the police, leading to his death. The Ejura Traditional Authority, led by Ejurahini Berima Osehwidi II, met with a member of parliament for the area, Zongo chiefs, the police and other stakeholders to find lasting solution to the chaos. The chief expressed concern over the destruction of property and urged stakeholders to allow the police to do their work.
First, no dear. Nigeria district. Your division or Mampo. Your regional command or Kumasi. And then Yamia Roma. Your regional command or Mampo here.
We can't say anything. Let us leave it all to the police for our peace of mind. We have our regional command close to us, so things would go on smoothly.
Now, for moka police for
the police should work together. We don't want division, and there should not be any form of division. We plead that you work together for us to get the peace of mind that we need. The Ashanti North Regional Police Commander, DCOP Jude Kobena, briefed a gathering on security arrangements, stating that over 100 police officers had been deployed to restore peace. He assured that the police would collaborate with all stakeholders to ensure the complete restoration of peace in Ejura. DCOP Kobena also noted that all suspects involved in the attack will be brought to book. If these properties have been destroyed, then we have a huge financial burden to restore them. Investigations will be difficult, but the laws will deal with the perpetrators to avert a reoccurrence. Meanwhile, the family of the resident who died in the hands of the police have rejected the autopsy report, ruling out brutality as cause of death and called for justice for the relative. For Joy News, Nana Boachidankwe Kumase.
Well, Nana Boachi Yadom joins us with more. Nana, it's been 3 days since this happened. Now, the police cry of the cost of rebuilding that district office again, and then the family also rejecting the autopsy report. What more can you report?
Well, MFA, as I speak to you, there's uneasy calm in the Ejura community. You know, after the incident occurred on Friday, where the deceased was arrested, and then the protesters went into the community to burn the district police command, with them rejecting the autopsy report. It has led to uneasy calm in the Ejura community, with authorities crying on how to put back the destroyed police office. Now it is up to them to identify where these police officers will be working from. And the Ejura residents are also complaining about the losing security in the community already, even with the existence of the police office. And now that the police office has been destroyed, how they are going to cope with security issues in the community has also become an issue of concern to the residents in the community. And so as it stands now, they are all putting their heads together. I mean, the traditional authorities and the member of parliament for the area, the police, and all stakeholders have been engaging themselves extensively to make sure that calm is fully restored, and also to make sure that the structures being destroyed are put in place back.
Well, Nana, so after the family rejected the autopsy report, do we know whether or not the body is still at the morgue and will be in police custody, or is it handed back to them?
Well, the body was handed over to the family that same Saturday night when the autopsy report came out. Through the intervention of the Member of Parliament, the Honourable Mahama, who had called in for the autopsy report to determine whether or not the deceased had died of natural death or there was some underlying health conditions, which actually proved to be true, that he was suffering from peptic ulcer. That is what the family rejected, but they had no other choice than to take the body. On Sunday, they held the burial service for Masaudu, who is the deceased, and also made sure that everything was in order in custom. And the Monday, which is yesterday, that is when the traditional authorities and then all the security personnel went on to have a stakeholders engagement to make sure that whatever that needs to be done will be done to make sure that calm is restored in the community.
I caught hints of a criminologist talking on the back of this.
Well, that is Dr. Jones Mokoko, who is a criminologist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Well, he has been saying that looking at the extent of damage being caused and the fact that some police personnel were beaten up by these protesters, there's a need for the community and also the police to have an extensive community engagement to make sure that they are able to avert a future occurrence. MFA, this is not the first time that something of this kind has happened in Nigeria. Some years back, the same incident happened in Nigeria where one resident also lost his life. And it also came about with several issues with the residents protesting and all that. And so for the criminologists, it is not one but two, which means that the religious authorities, the traditional authorities, and all stakeholders would have to sit down and meet the community, engage them extensively, not to be attacking security personnel that have been deployed into the community. It is time for them to accept that these people are in to protect them and they are sent by government.
Nana Wache, thank you so much for bringing us that report. Moving away, a tax consultant, Eric Amponsa-Boateng, wants government to reintroduce road tolls to retake in some income as it readies itself to abolish betting tax and e-levy. Mr. Amponsa-Boateng supports government's decision to abolish these taxes, saying they have not brought the needed revenue. He spoke earlier on News Desk.
I believe that Ghana is still a country that is trying to be on its feet. And therefore, you need to be able to raise revenue internally so that you'll be able to support your budget. And so, if we have this gap, the question is that how are we going to raise that revenue to be able to support the budget? And I would be quick to add that yes, there are so many things that we can do. First of all, we need to expand the tax net because I believe that there are so many persons in Ghana who are outside the net. And that is why at the moment we are having the tax to GDP ratio of the 14.5%. But when you take sub-Saharan Africa, it is hovering around 22%. What this means is that we have a lot of businesses, a lot of individuals who are not filing their tax returns and making the payments. And so I would say that yes, I've just mentioned one of them. But if you really want to break in the revenue, apart from the fact that you need to expand the tax net, you have to ensure that compliance rates are very high.
Well, a member of the African Union Advisory Board on Corruption, Edem Senano, is imploring government to pursue a more robust legal framework to enable the Office of the Special Prosecutor work better. He's been reacting to comments that the OSP has failed to deliver its mandate. He spoke on News Desk again.
If you do an assessment of the European democracies, it took them about 200 years to get to the point where people will be impressed, so to speak, with what they've achieved. Take us as a nation. How far have we come? 60-something plus years. Whatever you start, it takes time to get everything in place. In my view, where we are now, we have clearly identified that some of our gaps are with the current legislative framework. There's a need to strengthen it. There are laws that we don't have in place. We don't have a reverse burden of proof. We don't have an unexplained wealth legal framework. That's important. We don't have the Code of Public Officers Conduct passed, something that would then make it distinctly clear that these are offenses and these are the sanctions to be applied if you went before a court. So the OSP may be struggling in court because the legal framework and environment has not been properly defined to assist it. I also think that we need specialized courts that will fast-track issues of good governance and corruption. That way, those courts would have people trained to understand the terrain, people willing to understand what it needs to be done to set these precedents that make it serve as a deterrent for other persons so minded to attempt to get into corruption.
Away from that, GCB Bank PLC is partnering the University of Ghana Hospital to establish an ultra-modern pediatric center. The unit will be an extension of the mother's wing of the University of Ghana Hospital with the necessary facilities to provide equal or quality healthcare services. Managing Director of GCB, Kofi Adubako, is optimistic this will reduce infant and maternal mortality in Ghana. There's more in this report by Mamavi Sefakote.
Well, this project, a pediatric center, is health. I mean, I'm sure you heard. We need to be able to take care of our children better. Women are giving birth to children. Some of them, mortality rates are high. Children are dying when they need not die, only because we don't have the infrastructure, only because we don't have the capacity to look after these children. So when the university spoke to us, like I said, health is already on our agenda. Okay, health is a key thing for the bank. Health of our customers, health of our staff, health of all our stakeholders is key. We thought that we look at this community, it lacked what we thought it should have. And so the university worked with us, put a proposal together, and I'm happy to say that the bank has taken on this project and will support it to bring it to completion. This project, we're giving ourselves, I think, 14 months. In the maximum 14 months, this project should be up and running.
You're watching JoyNews Today. We'll go for a quick break. Please stay for business.
Welcome back to business here on JoyNews Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Chief Operating Officer of Tech Hub, Jemima Prempeh, has emphasized the need to harness young people's tech skills to prepare Africa for its entry into the tech space. According to her, this is key to also addressing the state of unemployment. She spoke to Joy Business at the grand finale of Tech Hub Africa's Startup Pitch Competition in Accra.
The Tech Hub Africa is an organization dedicated to building a thriving tech ecosystem across Africa to empower innovators on the continent to scale up and further bridge the digital divide, creating the path for Africa to be recognized as a global leader in technology. Chief Operating Officer Jemima Prempeh said, to achieve the organization's goal, there's the need to leverage the expertise and knowledge in the space to mentor, coach, nurture, and fund the ideas of young innovators in the country and the continent.
Firstly, we need people with a can-do attitude, right? I think the fear of failure for Africans is too strong. So we have a lot of women who would not even attempt into the tech space, which is sad. But we're here to change that narrative. We feel like women belong in that space, and we want to encourage them from a very young age to take up technology. So we're looking at people in the universities, in the secondary schools, and start encouraging them to enter the tech space. What we intend to do is to help people or help Africa bridge that divide, and that's what I said. Because of that, we need to train them from a very young age. I think with technology, the older people, I mean, their time is gone, let's put it that way. There's still a lot they can learn, but the future belongs to the youth. So they are the people that we're focusing on. If we can get the youth to take up this space, watch out Europe, watch out USA, because we're coming, Africa is coming. That's what I can say.
Tech Hub Africa, co-founded by two sisters, Doreen Ewuku-Ajiman and Jemima Prempeh, aims to foster a vibrant ecosystem that nurtures creative ideas, offers funding, and accelerates the growth of homegrown technologies.
And in other development, Vice Chancellor of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Professor Elvis Asare Bidiako, is requesting the government to reconsider establishing the local funding mechanisms to support research and innovation activities in Ghana. Local researchers have over the years bemoaned their dependence on foreign donors to undertake research, which often has no recourse to the nation's development.
Research has been the very rudiment of fostering national development for many developed and high-level income countries. But in many developing countries like Ghana, local research failed to inform policy owing to the lack of needed public funding and resources for scientific investigations. Speaking at the first phase of the first cohort for grant writing for the staff of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Vice-Chancellor Professor Elvis Asari Bediako highlighted the essence of local funds for research projects.
Some may be interested in a particular crop. And so let's say between soybean and cowpea, between soybean and cowpea. Cowpea is key for, it's a food security crop here. But some funding agency may want you to develop more research into the soybean production. So they are directing the research. In fact, that one I must say that largely, it's true. That is the reason why, as a nation, we must also set up our own fund, or also support research in areas that are so unique to us, instead of relying entirely on the foreign, funding sources that would direct the areas.
Some 25 members of faculty at the University of Energy and Natural Resources participated in the grant writing program. Selected from various schools and administrative units of the university, the participants were exposed to the tenets of research and proposals for grants. The 5-day workshop forms part of streamlined activities to increase research capacity for enhanced output of the university's vision over the last 4 years. It is to support the research and innovation ecosystem of the university. Dr. Peter Sanford is the director for the Center of Grants, Research and Innovation at the university.
So the focus of this training was to train the staff to be able to effectively write that concept note. And so over the past 5 years, that's what we've been doing. And most of the participants had not written any concept note before. But today, all of them can draft, conceptualize a project idea, go through the guidelines that we have presented and draft a concept note. So on that basis, we have been able to achieve our objectives.
Some participants shared benefits obtained from the week-long workshop.
I would say our capacities have been built. We've improved on ourselves, and we are now in a much better position to be able to write a grant that would hopefully then lead to success.
The program is expected to span an entire year with mentoring and coaching sessions for the participants to enhance their skills in research and innovation. For JoyNews, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
We have more business update for you at 1 p.m. on the marketplace. Up next is Showbiz.
Hello there, good afternoon. You're welcome to the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Samaya. Well, to our first story, Ghanaian musician and saxophonist Teddy Osei, one of the founding members of the Afro rock band Osibisa, has passed away. The president of the Musician Union of Ghana, Gambro, Bessa Simons, told myjoyonline.com that the legendary musician died in the morning of Tuesday, January 14, 2025. Well, Teddy Osei is best known as the leader of the Afro rock band Osibisa, founded in 1969. Pakasi Holbrook Smith is Osibisa's representative in Ghana and Africa, and he shared more details with us earlier.
Been ill for quite some time now. He's been on a wheelchair for at least the last 10 years. And even though from time to time he had tried to perform, unfortunately in the last 5 years it's not been possible. He's been bedridden and under care. So he finally gave up the ghost in the early hours of this morning.
At what age, you would say?
I believe Teddy was 84.
And I bet it's early days yet to ask whether arrangements are in place. What exactly are the plans going forward?
Yes, it occurred early this morning, so I'm sure the family would meet and make arrangements, and then we'll inform the public.
Well, may his soul rest in peace, and we'll bring you more details in subsequent bulletins. And away from that story, British-Nigerian singer Dako is causing a stir on social media with allegations against Peter Okoye of the P-Square duo. In a fiery post, Dako accused Mr. P of sabotaging her latest single, turning what should have been a musical celebration into a copyright clash. We have more on the following report.
Dako claims that her music video for Focus on Me, released on January 2, 2024, was yanked off YouTube for 6 days due to copyright infringement allegations. Allegations, she says, are baseless. According to her, she had all the necessary clearances for the sample used in the track. The singer didn't hold back, alleging that Mr. P's action stemmed from her refusal to feature him on the song. Despite promising him a spot on the remix, Dako says the music icon refused to budge and went ahead with what she described as a deliberate act of sabotage. In her words, my music video was taken down for 6 days by Peter of P-Square in an attempt to completely sabotage the song. Meanwhile, Mr. P is yet to respond to these allegations, but this isn't his first time in the headlines for controversy. Many recall his public spat with his twin and senior brother Paul and Jude Okoye, which made waves not too long ago.
Well, the Artist of the Year chatter has hit full throttle, and the 2025 Telesur Ghana Music Awards is already causing a stir on social media. Well, last week, the internet buzzed with names of potential contenders, but over the weekend, Ghanaian rapper Amerado threw in his lyrical hat into the ring in a way he only could. We have more in the following report.
Amerado, known for his hit song Kweku Anansi, took to social media to make his case loud and clear. In a post outlining his impressive 2024 track record, he boldly declared, Artist of the Year conversation without Amerado under the 2024 Year of Review is an exposure of ignorance and consequently brutal to the industry and upcoming ones. Talk about confidence, but he's not the only name on the lips of fans and critics alike. Joining the heated debate are the likes of King Paluta, Kim Promise, Stoneboy, Team Eternity Ghana, Dope Nation, Kofi Kinata, and Famaye, each making a strong case with their 2024 hits and unmatched appeal. According to the Telesur Ghana Music Awards definition, the coveted Artist of the Year title goes to the artist who not only dominated the chart but also captured the hearts of fans nationwide. This includes releasing a hit single, EP, or album and securing the highest nominations for the year. With the nominations just around the corner, the question on everyone's lips remains: who will take the ultimate this year? As we gear up for the awards season, one thing's for sure: the competition will be fierce and the debates will be fiery. Jacqueline and Samaya Boy's report, read to you.
Well, that's all for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Samaya Boy. Sports is up next.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdra, the Chief Executive Officer of Box Office Promotions. Alex Ntiamoa has called on President John Dramani Mahama to appoint Nilante van der Poel as the Minister of Youth and Sports. According to him, with Nilante at the helm of affairs, people who have ganged up and looted the country's resources meant for sports development will be brought to book.
Because President Mahama has promised Ghanaians that he's coming, one way or the other, is coming to make sure Ghana government money is going to be used judiciously. And I believe if this man is in charge there, it can break the cartel that, spend government money unscrupulously, and it can get the best out of it. So for me, I will recommend him to be the person that will be the sports minister, because he can help not only football, but boxing and other least finance sports. That's what he's been saying all the time, and I believe he can deliver. The boxing industry here in Ghana is not about building one fighter or two fighters, taking them to the world over to win just titles elsewhere. But we want to build the boxing industry here, because it will solve a lot of problems, especially in terms of employment. Because we have people that faces the rings, we have media people that work when there is promotion going on, we have the vendors coming around, we have a lot of sports writers write about boxing, sponsors putting also their support behind it, and a whole lot. And boxing is one sport that can give mileage to sponsors than any other sport, because you have maybe press launch, public appearance, public workout, media workout, weighing and all, and a whole lot of things that sponsors can brand. And government can take some of their flagship programs to be advertised through boxing.
Now, the Finance Minister designate, Dr. Atu Forson, says that the government will abolish betting tax. According to him, the money that they get from betting is a pittance that cannot contribute and bring the right development within the sporting sector everyone is talking about. And it is part of the promise of the government to abolish this tax. And he says that he will see through it to have that tax abolished.
Mr. Chairman, I was on a show with the Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, and the contest must come out. The Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, at the time Minister for Information, I'm sure, had the responsibility to sell a government policy on betting. And he said, I'm surprised you are not bringing that portion. He said that betting tax is being implemented because it is destroying our youth, and that the government is introducing this betting tax he said the government is introducing this betting tax to deter them, equivalent to essence tax, so that they will not be staking the bet. I retorted on a show being hosted by Evans Mensah on Joy FM PM Express. I retorted by saying that will not solve the problem. That will not solve the problem because I've read a number of articles, and the article presupposes or suggests that it is destroying our youth. And so if you want to introduce a tax, you have to first look at the elasticities, and as to whether the elasticities will mean that imposing such a tax will prevent the individual or the people concerned from the staking of the VAT of the betting or not. But I doubt that will. And so if you intend doing that, the best option is to ban it and not to introduce a tax. And I said the tax will not solve the problem. Here we are today. I've been vindicated. Has the tax solved the problem as intended by the government? Big no. I insist that that tax must be abolished. And as Minister of Finance, my first budget, I will abolish the betting tax. Thank you.
That is your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. MFA is standing by with the rest of the news.
Thank you so much, Muftau, and thank you for joining us on Joy News today. I am MFA Akosia Adati. For more news, though, do log on to myjoyonline.com, and you'll find many stories on the screen. As you can see, Energy Minister designate set 6 months for ECG private sector involvement framework is our top story today on myjoyonline.com. Many thanks for choosing us.